Together is written and directed by Michael Shanks and stars Dave Franco and Alison Brie. Years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads as they move to the country. With tensions already flaring, an encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. The spooky season is coming underway, and I had the chance to watch this film around August. I just hadn't had time to give it a proper review due to me getting very busy with so many convention photos and videos, and it has been a hectic few weeks, so I have not been able to upload quite a bit on this channel. I've been mostly posting on my main one and my Instagram, so now that I'm free to talk about some more movies once again, I want to tell you about how much I really love this film. I thought Together was an absolute blast of a horror film. It is very slow paced. It does take its time to tell its story. It lingers on many quieter moments where the characters are just talking to each other about their relationships, but it also leaves the film with a lot of great tension building. And the idea of two lovers now being forced together is really interesting. It's an unbreakable love that is forging when that said love is drifting apart, breaking apart even. And Alison Brie and Dave Franco, who are married in real life, play these roles extremely well. You really do buy into their chemistry, and you really do believe that this is a couple that are at a point where they are too comfortable with each other, are lingering too much on the other's flaws, and they are thinking about breaking up. Like, is this even working? Like, are we only together at this point just because we're comfortable together, because that's just what we know now? Do we really love each other like we used to? Does that mean anything anymore? And the film explores that in a lot of cool ways that are very much character building, and you really do care for them, but also how it utilizes all those aspects within its horror elements, I think was very clever. There's this one scene that takes place in the shower that I just found really creative and kind of sick. The film has a bit of a dark sense of humor to it with this horror, and I really enjoyed it. And the body horror here, while I don't think it is like the most gruesome body horror, like it's not The Substance or anything, it is still really unsettling what they're able to do with these characters' bodies and how they move them about, or what they have to do to each other in order to prevent what's happening to them happening any further. And I really enjoyed all that stuff. It is a lot of great tension building, a lot of great suspense, and there is a bit of a spiritual element to the film, kind of a cultic one at that, where there's probably something more going on than just their bodies like now forging together. Something's happening behind the scenes that's making this happen, and it adds a bit of a mystery element to it. But that leads to my biggest issue with the film. The reveal of what's happening, kind of predictable in how it leaves off that kind of aspect of the film as to what is responsible for all this is kind of underwhelming if you ask me, but it leads to a very emotional payoff by the end between our two characters that I actually think worked out very well in the long run. And I think the way this film ended actually was kind of perfect with how you want these characters to want to be together despite their flaws, and how it's able to conclude this entire story and what's happening to these characters. I think was very well done. I think it fits the characters very well, their emotional journey, and is basically a moment of acceptance for these characters that I think worked out really well. I think the film also looked beautiful too. This is probably one of the best looking films of the year in my opinion. I think it's just really easy to get suburban areas or the woods even looking really beautiful, really well shot, really well lit, but everything's not just in focus. Everything felt purposeful. Everything has a sense of atmosphere to it. This house that this couple is staying in is a little old and something weird is going on with it. So in many ways it does look normal, but there are many aspects of this house that you're looking at is like, what's going to happen? What's going to pop out here? What kind of monstrosity am I going to see? And I think that's also all due to really good production and set design that I think helped make this house and these woods feel very atmospheric. There is something that is normal, familiar with it, but there's also something unsettling about this location as well as you start to unearth all the pieces and what's happening with its history. So overall, Together I thought was a really good horror film. Not perfect, but it is very suspenseful, has a lot of great tension, has really good characters and an interesting story, great production and set design. What more could you want for a horror film? If you're looking for something really spooky for the Halloween season coming up, I would definitely recommend Together as your go-to horror film to check out this October. And so for that, I'm going to give Together an A. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.